Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? Today we're gonna go over how to draw Raiden from Mortal Kombat X. I did do another Raiden a while back, but I feel like we're due for another one. You know what I mean? It's been a long time, and also because of Mortal Kombat X, I'm kind of excited about it. And there are some slight differences, but nothing too crazy. We're gonna do kind of a fine art version of Raiden. Again, I'm gonna be using this. I can't even see; it's so worn out. I think it says Nero Medium, and that's kind of it. I think there's a couple of weird numbers, but I think this might be arbitrary. The number's 46103. I don't know. That's arbitrary. But Nero. It feels. I can tell you what it feels like, though. It feels like a colored pencil, kind of. It just feels like a black colored pencil to me, honestly. You know what I mean? So, I'm kind of throwing in this layer right here. Okay, let me talk a little bit about what's going on. I haven't posted a few videos in a while because my computer's been on the fritz. My computer's been screwed up. It's not even funny. It's really horrifying, and it bothered me. So now that we got that out of the way, that's good. Didn't have the money to really fix it, so that's why it took a while. So I haven't posted anything in like 2 weeks, something like that. Or I think I did post something yesterday, but anyways. So let's talk about Raiden really quick. So I drew a circle here for this general head shape. That's what I want. I want a general head shape of him. A big part of Raiden and why it's kind of hard, and you kind of have to cheat some stuff, lighting wise, is because he's got that giant freaking hat. He's this giant hat. What is that? Rice hat, I think. It's kind of flat in this game. That's to where the other ones had like this kind of point at the top of it. Sometimes in this version I've seen it like it looks kind of flat. Giant rice hat. It just looks like a saucer or something. It looks like a kind of flying saucer on his head. There's no really rule for that proportion. It can be as big or as small. You can exaggerate it, make it bigger. It's pretty exaggerated already. And I'm going really light, super light. Just kind of getting the broad idea. What I always say, getting that proportion down. Getting that proportion down. Yep. And his eyes are gonna just barely peek out from underneath because he's got that. In reality, that thing's gonna cause a shadow all the way down to his freaking neck, probably. But you can't do that. You want to see his face. So we're gonna do the cool shadow. Where 1 second, let me move. I kind of move that around. Check the thing here. All right, we're gonna do the cool shadow where it kind of like, it's more like the pit of the eyes. You know what I mean? Like if you were to draw like a line over like on the top of the bridge of your nose, kind of to the under, like or glasses, where kind of glasses go. That's kind of where I want that shadow to trace, and I'm kind of like tracing the shadow first almost. I got my little circle to start out with, but for the most part I'm tracing shadow here. His nose, it's the same thing. I'm kind of tracing that shadow. It's a little disconnected right now, but I'll kind of combine it in a bit. Raiden, my history with this character is I don't think I even talked about this. I was obsessed. Well, maybe I did talk about it. I was massively obsessed with the first Mortal Kombat, like the very first one when I was a kid. When that first came out, I was super, super into it. Me and my best friend were super into it. It was crazy. We were like, it was just such a big deal. And Raiden was one of my favorite characters, like everybody's. I think pretty much everybody likes Scorpion, and then, a lot of people like Sub-Zero, and then Raiden, Guys I never really liked Johnny Cage. I never really liked that Sonya, or who else was in the old one? Can't remember who was in the old one, but, never a big fan of those kind of characters. I always liked the cooler, like, I don't know, the ones everybody picked, the ninja. Raiden had a cool hat. He'd fly at you. He was like a god, right? The god of thunder or something. And I'm tracing down the rest of his face here. And I'm doing this all the side of the pencil here. Again, I've said this before. I like using the side of the pencil because it doesn't create this hard divot that it's hard to erase. You know what I mean? I've got my kneaded eraser here. Just take a chunk of that. Chunk of kneaded eraser, kind of ball up. If you don't have a kneaded eraser, get one. They're so good. I can't really see myself not using that. Underneath the lower lip here. Kind of that section below the lower lip. I forget what you call that. Kind of like where I have a piercing. I have a piercing, I have a labret. I'm going to connect it over here, the shadow pattern on this side. Giving him like the laugh line here. He's got to be older-ish. He can't be like a young man, right? I think he is he a young man? No. I mean, I know he's eternal, but you know, he's not supposed to be like super young. He's like old, I thought a lot of times, right? They kind of keep mixing that up. So, and he's also got this kind of head cover. I think that's, I don't know if that's paying tribute to the samurais of that era, you know? Like, kind of wore this kind of like, I don't know, cloth on the outside of their head, or the only thing that's exposed is their face. But he has that kind of thing going on for him. I like to put the little bump, you know, I like to figure out where the ear is, you know what I mean, in relation to that. And maybe put like a slight bump so that we know the ear's underneath that cloth, you know. You see that a lot in Batman, too. You ever see Batman drawings? They'll have that slight ear bump. You know, to show that, hey, you know, there's a human in there. It doesn't look weird. It might look kind of weird without it. His neck goes down here. Got a collar, small collar. A lot of this is getting the impression down first. You know what I mean? You want to be able to visualize what that picture's going to look like at the very end, so that all you have to do really is like darken stuff up, you know what I mean, and fix stuff here and there. So that's why I kind of draw like this. You know, this kind of lets me envision kind of what the end result's going to be before it kind of happens entirely, you know what I mean? Like right now, like I get an idea of what it's going to look like, you know? I can pretty much see it. I'm going to put down some value underneath the hat here. All the side of the pencil, almost everything. I'm going to bleed into the eye here. I might have to separate those in a bit, but again, all the side of my pencil. All the side. That one's not so much the side right there. You got to use the tip to kind of strengthen stuff. What do you call that? Erasing the oval, the original oval right there, so it doesn't show. Like everything else, you got to draw through the form. I got to make that like a catchphrase or something. Draw through the form, meaning I actually draw this like the underneath of the head, like kind of, you know what I mean? Like I actually trace it underneath just to see where it's gonna sit. It's kind of drawing through the form. I'll talk about that a lot. I think I already have, but I'll talk about it more and more. So don't worry if that didn't make a whole lot of sense. He's got these little rivets on his hat this time. Rivets on his hat. And now we have like a light valued version of him, essentially. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to like start working in here, you know what I mean? Start really working into the face itself. I will go and start kind of darkening stuff up. I'm going to start with the inside of the eye here. I want to bridge of the nose here. I'm going with kind of the tip of the pencil here. Getting darker, going shadow within the shadow. Shadow within the shadow. Kind of going after his eyebrows section. what you could do, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing, start finding his eye. You know what I mean? Where is his eyeball? Or, yeah, his eye. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab an eraser right here. I'm going to try to find where it is, and I'm going to pull that out. You know, and pulling that out slowly. That's why I needed a kneaded eraser. I mean, I guess you could do it with a regular eraser too, but it's kind of harder. Because a kneaded eraser, you can get the shape. And start pulling out that eye right there. Make that white again. And you're using it like paint at that point. It's like I'm adding white paint. This side, trying to find where that eye is, trying to make it symmetrical. Sometimes finding that symmetry, you know, because I know he's turning to the left. I just find that symmetry is kind of annoying. Also pulling that white out of the eye there. Pulling the white out that eye. Right here, finding the edge of his face. Darkening up the back of that a little bit. Trying to make one of those come forward. One of those come forward. Let me go through the front again. Part that's crossing over his face. Same thing over here at the back side. I'm darkening up a little bit to pull that forward a little bit. Let's go into the nose. It's almost like I'm doing a pass-through, you know, making everything slightly darker. The nose. That's kind of dark, actually. That was a little bit too dark. Actually, I was putting the edge of the nose there. I am putting in a little bit dark right there. I'm going in with the tip of my pencil, going into the nostril. You got to think about what are areas that are not going to catch light. Probably the nostril, inside the nostril, probably will not catch a lot of light, so that's why I make that darker. You know, Raiden has always had like kind of a varied face. You know, like in the movie, he was like this white guy, right? Which is weird. And I always kind of saw him as Asian. And then I think in the, you know, a lot of the video games he's been Asian. I think Christopher Lambert played him in the first movie. I forget who played him in the second movie. Some guy played. I forgot who played him in the second movie. I was really disappointed with that second movie. Holy cow! Because I remember that second movie came out, and I was like, "What? Like this is so weird." Like three of the actors are different. Johnny Cage is different. You know, he died in the intro of the movie. Spoiler. And then what else? Yeah, it was such a disappointing movie. Such a disappointment. And it was just like stupid. I didn't really get it. I was looking so forward to the second movie too. I really like that first one still. Even I saw it lately, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty good, cheesy, you know, fun. I thought. I mean, granted, I'm seeing it through nostalgia eyes, right? But I don't know. I enjoyed it because there's definitely some movies I went back to and I just could not watch anymore. I forgot. I'll think of one. Oh, anywho, let me talk a little bit about what I've been up to. So I got new equipment for this kind of like podcast, stream, whatever I'm going to do. Basically, I'm going to be doing a lot more streams now. Also, I want to do one a week. That's my idea, but we'll see. It'll probably turn out to be one every 2 weeks, I bet. Man, I got the equipment. I'm just trying to like test it out and things like that. The problem is it needs money. You know what I mean? It needs money. That's the thing. So I've been really trying to like scrape together any cash I have just to do that. And I just something I want to do. I think it's amusing. I think it's fun. I like the casual conversation with friends of mine, and I might as well just kind of record it. You know what I mean? Also at the same time be drawing. You know what I mean? Or whatever. But so I've been really thinking about that. Really thinking about that actually a lot. That's equipment in my room right now. I'll give you an announcement for the next stream. I don't know where I'm going to put that announcement. I'll put it somewhere. And that's the gist of it, really. I'm trying to think of what else is going on. Well, that's not just the gist of it, I guess. There's a lot of stuff going on. Okay, going over here, this side of his face. I'm putting almost the whole side in shadow, kind of shadow. Oof. But Comic-Con's coming up. That's another one. That's a big one. Comic-Con's coming up very soon. I'm excited for that. That's like the center point of my year. It used to be the center point of my year. It kind of still is, but I don't know. Like when I was a little kid, it was like the center point. Now it's just kind of like this awesome bonus. I still love it. But I've gone to it every year since I was 12, so I've gone to it for a while. I'm trying to throw some stylization. Oh, okay, cool. There's something on his cover. Kind of comes over here. Very similar to Samurai. Coming down here. Try to remember that, kind of this cloth, it shows. It shows this cloth. It's not totally skin tight like maybe Spider-Man, certain Spider-Man outfits. But you can kind of see the thickness, I noticed, with the Raiden's, whatever that cloak thing, that thing over his head is. This thing, this cloth. You can see the thickness of it. You know what I mean? Um, there should be a new Mortal Kombat movie, I wish. I remember they had that Mortal Kombat Legacy thing online, too. Online, right? On Machinima. That was pretty good. I liked it. It was okay. Well, the visuals are pretty awesome. I don't think it's going to keep going, though, right? It seems very canceled. Which, like, I'm pushing some really darks down here. And that's just to kind of anchor it to the ground here. And now I'm really going dark. I'm trying to anchor this. It's like I'm planting a tree or something. I want the dark, not all the darks toward the bottom, you know what I mean? But I want some toward the bottom. Using my eraser here to pull out a couple of things on this side, maybe some rivets in the cloth. Rivets in the cloth. All right. So let me go. One thing I've really been ignoring is I'm ignoring the top brim of his hat. The top brim right here. It's also kind of too light. I have a choice. I can put a light value over here, right? A light value on this thing, or I could put a really dark value behind him, which I might actually do that. Not super dark, but darkish. might contrast with the other dark that's behind him there. So I'm gonna have to like figure that out really. I'll go on the side of the pencil here. The other side. Because it's weird when you start drawing stuff like this, especially like a portrait. It starts becoming like, how do you frame this picture? How do you make it, like, you know, their setup. How do you set up so it's like mildly attractive? The whole setup. It's not just the picture itself. You know, you're thinking about your presentation of it. And presentation matters too. I didn't really notice that till I kind of went to other schools and stuff. Presentation matters a lot, a lot, a lot. I was actually kind of upset at that at one point. I was like, God dang, man. Like the presentation, like, you know, it really, it makes your stuff look better if you know how to present it right. You know what I mean? And that's a whole other kind of thing. And it's kind of just like a side thing, really. Not a side thing. It's like that extra bonus stuff. I don't know how to quite say it. Putting kind of some value everywhere. And I have to kind of mess with that too, because it starts to become a huge mess. You know what I mean? So let's go back, and I'm going to do another pass. See, this is really dark right here. Too dark, almost. Almost. So that's dark. Well, when I squint, I look right at that. So let's get right up in the eyes, because that's kind of where the focal point of this is going to be. It's almost always the eyes. Especially with Raiden, so the darker I'm going to make the outside of his eyes, right here, like right on the outside, the more white that inside's going to look. See, pushing that. Let's see. And I'm really gonna go heavy on the whole how do you say that? I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'm trying not to fast forward this video. I'm trying really hard not to speed it. I want to kind of talk about it all the way through. I think watching stuff in real time is really important. I mean, if you just can't, you can't, but, you know. But, yeah. So those darks here, and I really want to emphasize that shape here. The shape of the shadow kind of coming over. Same thing on this side. I was going to do the lightning bolt thing out of his eyes, but I thought that was just too dang. It would become too dang messy, honestly, for this. So I'm just going to keep it the white of the eye. Rice hat. Rice hat. And I want to, just like I said, darken a lot of the edges and stuff like that. Maybe the edge of the nose, right here at the pit of the mouth a little bit. Right here the neck. it's kind of something that you learn. You know, there's kind of key areas that you darken, and that's kind of a style thing. I think that's really where style kicks in. Um, there's, you know, there's opinions for sure, but I really think that's a stylistic thing, like how dark you throw your lines and stuff like that. How dark you throw your lines. Alright. A lot of it is a balance. So now I'm going to go up here to his hat. I'm going to slightly strengthen those striations I threw in there. Just slightly, you know, nothing crazy. You don't have to put every detail in it. This is like the fine art version of him. Just a little bit. Kind of an indication. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. So I have a question for you guys. If you guys are listening to this point, I really have a serious question. What is your guys' favorite drawing books, like how-to drawing books? If you guys have one, because I kind of want to read some more of those, to kind of like you know, teach me how to teach. You know, I just have a question. What is your favorite how-to drawing books? Write in the comments, please. Please, 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 please. If you can think of one off the top of your head. If not, then I understand. You know, I understand completely. Bum, 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 bum. All right. So, and then we're gonna throw some like. A lot of this is like slight noodling now. You know what I mean? Like you have a good amount for the picture. Now a lot of it's gonna be, for example, like straightening edges, you know, or yeah, just like cleaning things up. That's kind of what cleaning things up, you know, essentially is. You're kind of done with the main part of it, and now you're kind of making little decisions everywhere. You know, smoothing things out. Um, Maybe playing with some, what do you call that, some extra values over here, like, maybe want to throw a very light halftone, they call it, kind of underneath the lip, you know, the jowls, is that what they call it? Jowls? Jowls? Over here, gonna have some more information in the face. I don't know how old Raiden is, like I said, relatively young. But yeah. Anyways, that's about it. Thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate you guys watching this. You know, I'll see you later. Thanks a lot, guys. I kind of appreciate you watching this. It makes me feel really good to know that I'm reaching some people. And subscribe to the channel if you did enjoy the video. Super cool. Top right corner, Enzyme Art. It's another channel I have. It's a little bit of a passion project. I've been working on it for a little bit, and I update that about once every couple of weeks. Please check that out. That'd be super neat. And the bottom right-hand corner is those cool pencil cases that we sell, and we have a few of those left. Anyways, thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you on the next round.